Getting everything set up, getting ready, start streaming and stuff. Everything looks like it's going. Looks like I am live. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna start talking about the new Hearthstone cards. I've been a very good boy and not been looking at them, so I'm gonna start looking at them. In case anybody wants to know, what I usually do is I look at the cards just as they are, and I don't really have a star system. I just go like a yes, maybe, or no. Yes being yes, I like the card. I don't know if it's good. My my Hearthstone resume is that I got to rank 15 once. I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about whether or not I like the card, which I guess is sort of self-centered and stuff. But I don't know. It's just a fun excuse to talk about the game and about the cards. So that's what I do, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, don't take anything I say as fact. It's just, a fun excuse to talk about the cards and get told that I'm an idiot. So what I usually do is I look at the Play Hearthstone website where all the cards are held. I used to do it that way because it would always show the cards in order. It doesn't do that anymore, but they've updated it since then. So it's a lot better than it used to be. So I'm still going to use it, but now instead of going by release date, I'm going to go by class. So we're going to get ready and start looking at the Druid class first. So let me just hit a bushki. Alright, so click. Look at this. Look at this nice little thing that they've set up. So we're starting off with the Garden Gnome. Greetings, my little shrubs. It's Whitlantine. 4 mana, 2/3. Ooh, look at that. That's wonky. I don't like that. don't do that again. So it's the Garden Gnome. Battle Cry. If you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, summon 2/2 treants. I guess for Druid, that's not too hard to pull off. There are a good amount of Druid cards that cost 5 or more. 4 mana 2/3 is disgusting, but a 4 mana 6/7 is better. It's definitely better, even though it is split among a bunch of different bodies, which is better or worse depending on the situation. The Treant synergy is nice. I'm a little on the fence, though. I don't know. I think the Treant synergy thing has sort of run its course now. There are still lots of cards. There's lots of cards to supplement the Treant thing. It's just that, people already sort of expect it, and the Treant synergy deck is already sort of full. I don't know that you could fit this in there, especially with the caveat of needing a spell on top of it. I don't know. It seems a little bit too niche to me. It's perfectly playable, but I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna put a maybe, but I think it's probably a no. Next, the Crystal Merchant. 2 mana, 1/4. If you have any unspent mana at the end of your turn, draw a card. That's not bad, actually. A 2 mana, 1/4 isn't bad stats. It's pretty par for the course for that. Having unspent mana isn't uncommon. Playing this like in the middle of the game, though, might be a little like playing this on turn 3 and having that 1 mana unspent, because it does require it to be unspent at the end of your turn. So that means you have to play this and then not play anything else. This on a turn 3, not great. Honestly, you would want to play this in the later half of the game, maybe on turn 6 or 7 or 9 or 10, where you'd play a bunch of cards and have this just be one of them and maybe have like 1 mana left over. So like on turn 9, you'd play like a 6 cost and then this, and then have 1 mana left over, and then get that extra card draw. The card draw is nice, and it's definitely worth it, but it is a pretty specific requirement, It's not a hard one to pull off though, so I think so. I think this card will definitely see a little bit of play. I'm gonna say yes. If you have any opinions, I can't see the chat right now. If you guys have any opinions, feel free to put opinions. And at the end of each class, I'm gonna look over at the chat and see what you guys have to say about stuff. So the Oasis Surger, 5 mana, 3/3, disgusting. Rush, choose one, gain +2/+2, become a 5 mana 5/5, or summon a copy of this minion, which creates a 5 mana 6/6 with Rush, but in 2 bodies, which is a 5 mana 6/6 is just plain. I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would take the gain +2/+2 unless you had some other thing. If you have a card that makes you use both, that's great. I think the new Druid Treasure does that, or the new Druid Quest is something that makes it so that that happens. I don't know. I don't remember. We're gonna look at it, but yeah, a 5 mana 6/6 isn't bad. It's sort of par for the course. 5 mana 6/6 with Rush is fine. I don't know. I think you definitely want both of these to go off at once, which might be a little difficult to pull off. I'm going to say maybe. There are niche conditions where you be fine with playing this, putting the 2 copies, and then running it into something to either get it dead really quickly for 5 mana, or having like 2/3 ones left over to like buff. So like turning them into 2 like 4/2s or 5/3s after doing the run-in. So there are some niche opportunities for this, but I think it's going to stick at a maybe. Next, the Worthy Expedition. 1 mana, discover a choose one card. Yeah, this is sort of a nothing card. This is like one of those cards that they retroactively put into basic later on. You know, like create a random demon or create a random spell. This one would be like a discover a choose one card. I think maybe this one should have been put into like the basic set. It's fine. It's just sort of a nothing card. Like maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. It depends entirely on what you choose. But I guess it's some good card creation. But meh. Overflow. 7 mana, restore 5 health to all characters and draw 5 cards. Wow, this is pretty interesting. It's sort of like the draw capability of the Ultimate Infestation without all the other bits attached to it, and it restores 5 health to all characters. So all of your minions, all of the opponent's minions, the opponent, and you. So everybody. I guess there's some conditions that make that worth it. Like a heal, like the heal druid would probably get some good use out of this because heal druids run out of cards like so fast. Like, you know, normal druids do, especially since they nerfed Nourish. But I don't know, 5 cards is pretty hefty. That's always sort of the danger with Ultimate Infestation, is drawing yourself to death, and this is like that, but also healing your opponent instead of dealing damage to your opponent. So, I think it's worse than Ultimate Infestation. Like, even the mana discount isn't gonna really fix that. But at least, I don't know, if you're playing like a small druid deck, like Treants or something, you could play this and then still be able to play something, whereas with Ultimate Infestation you couldn't do that, but you'd get a 5/5, so why would you need to? I don't know. I think this is just like a straight up downgrade of Ultimate Infestation. I'm not seeing it. Next, the Anubisath Defender. 5 mana 3/5. Taunt costs 0 if you have a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. A 0 cost 3/5 with Taunt is pretty darn good. That conditional, again, isn't too hard for Druid to get hold of, but it's sort of a hefty conditional. Like, you would need like Nourish or the the summon the trees. I forget what it's called. Like you need some big spells, and big spell druid isn't really a thing. Like it's got a few, but to reliably have one in your hand, I don't know. Maybe that's the hidden use of overflow, is like, well, you got it and you never intend on playing it, but you've got all these other cards that do things if you have a spell that costs 5 or more. I could see that, but again, that doesn't really make overflow good. This 5 mana 3/5 with taunt is just plain not good enough. Like this would need to be like a 4 cost. But with that conditional on top of it, is that worth an extra mana point? I guess it depends on how you build your deck, but I'm sticking with maybe. I'm not too convinced. Next, the Hidden Oasis. 6 mana. Choose one, summon a 6/6 ancient with taunt, or restore 12 health. Now this has some potential. 6 mana 6/6 with taunt is fine, and restoring 12 health is fine. Restoring 12 health is usually like a 2 or 3 mana type of thing. But the choose one mechanic, the opportunity to have both happen if you have one of those Feindrel effects going on, I think it's pretty okay. And because it costs more than 5 and it's borderline playable, it sort of validates all the previous ones. I'm sort of giving it a bone just because it's more playable than Overflow. But I definitely think that this will see some play. Just because the 6/6 Ancient with Taunt isn't bad, and if you really, really need it, it has that that choose one mechanic to sort of bring you back from the brink instead. There's some heal druid potential, and the taunt is nice, and the heavy, the high spell cost thing. Yeah, I think this is like the spell to have. It's pretty okay in all directions, but it's not amazing. You know what I'm saying? Next, Elise the Enlightened. The Druid Legendary, 5 mana 5/5 battlecry. If your deck has no duplicates, duplicate your hand. That's interesting. It would definitely solve some card draw for Druid. I don't know if there's anything really big that you'd want to do that with. I mean, I guess you could do it with that one ooze where it's like if you play 2 of them, it turns into like a 30/30 or whatever. You could do that. But I mean, I guess you could also do it with some twin spell stuff, like double up your twin spell, have four uses of it instead of just 2, which is pretty darn good. I could definitely see this being a lot more useful in like the solo play type of stuff. Like this will be nuts in any solo play game, like the adventures and stuff. I think it's fine. I think it's a perfectly good legendary, but it's a legendary that could exist in any deck. You know, it's just good. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is amazing for Druid. Druid can make so much use out of this. It can really be used anywhere and get some use out of this. Maybe there's some added benefit for Druid because it has all that twin spell, trance synergy, heal synergy stuff that you can play with. But yeah, I think it's just a plain good legendary. Next. Bees! Oh god, the bees! 3 mana. Choose a minion, summon 4 1/1 bees that attack it. I like this. This is pretty good. I am curious whether or not if the thing runs out of HP, if the other bees continue to attack, like if it only has 2 health left, will all 4 bees attack, or will you be left with 2 bees? You'd really want this thing to like attack something with no attack, like a totem or something, or like one of those spirit things from the Zandalar expansion. So you could run into stuff, not lose your bees, and then buff it and use it as like an extra token card to like make 4 1/1 bees and then buff the crap out of them to make them big bees. Let's look at the bees. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a cuter bee, like in BFA they have the cute bees. Oh well. I think it's fine. It's a good token card, good kill card. I am curious whether or not all the bees will attack it, even if the thing dies. If they don't, makes it better. If they do, then maybe you want to hold this for the right occasion. Otherwise, it's just a 3 mana, deal 4 damage, which is still fine. It's still a perfectly usable card. It's just better if some of the bees survive. All right, and last card, the Untapped Potential, the quest card. Quest, end 4 turns with unspent mana. Your reward is the Osirian Tear. What is the Osirian Tear? Your choose one effects have both effects combined. Yeah. So, yeah, you'd want to play the quest along with a bunch of choose one cards. So this is basically like replacing Faendrel. But it also gets rid of your hero power, which is fine, to be honest. This being... I like the idea of all these being passive hero powers. I think I remember seeing that, where all of them are passive hero powers. I think I'm okay with that, as long as they're good enough effects. This one is just sort of middling, but you know what? Druid always gets the middling effects. They always get the okay Death Knight, the okay quest, although their last quest was pretty nuts if you could get it to work right. But yeah, I could definitely see this being used a bunch, because, like, all the choose one effects are useful. And so getting them all combined together is just fun. I think it should be, like, your choose one or choose two cards, just so you can get a little extra use out of those that one choose two card that they decided, I guess, not to follow up with on. But, yeah. I definitely want to see some play with that and some of these other choose one mechanics. We only saw one other choose one, though, didn't we? Yeah, there's only... Oh, no, there's 2 choose ones along with the expansion. So these 2 choose ones, along with the Bear Druid and I guess Nourish, and I'm sure there are others. What are some other choose one cards that this would be good with? Make a good choose one deck that allows you to go with your untapped potential. You definitely will also want to have Crystal Merchant in the untapped potential deck, because they both sort of serve the same purpose. Having some big spells in there too would also actually work to his benefit, because then that means you're playing the spells and you're probably going to have some leftover mana, or you don't have the mana to use the spell, so you're kind of forcing yourself to end your turn. That does sort of mean you're going to be underpowered a lot of the time, but it's only ending 4 turns. So by turn 5, it should be possible to complete the quest. I don't know if you have to spend 5 mana, though, to, like, activate the thing like you used to. I don't know if it just turns it on, or if you have to spend 5 mana to, like, activate it. I don't know whether or not you have to do that. So that'll be an interesting thing to learn. If you do, then having the first 4 turns go on, and then on turn 5 you play it, is fine. Or if you don't, then turn 5 is when things really start to get interesting, because then on turn 5 you can immediately play like the Oasis Surger or the Taunt Druid and get like full use out of it. So either way, I think it's fine. It's just, it sort of depends what you're going to do with your 5th turn. Alright. Let me just check on you guys. I'm going to boop. How are you guys doing? You doing okay? I'm going to take a sip of water, and then we're going to move on to the next class. If I'm ever gonna do this again, maybe I should find like a video or something, or like a picture put up instead of a black screen. That would be good. All right, so let's see. The next class is Hunter. All right. Anyone for Druid stuff before we move on to the Hunter? Moving on to the Hunter. Bushki. Alright, starting off with the Ramkahen Wild Tamer. 3 mana, 4/3, Battlecry, copy a random beast in your hand. It's perfectly fine. It's just sort of whatever. 3 mana, 4/3 is fine. For Hunter, because they like going so aggressive. Having the attack higher than the health is fine. Because it costs 3, a 4/3 is perfectly doable. Like a 3/4, 3 mana, 3/4, perfectly doable. Copying a random beast in your hand could be either really good or really bad. Depends on how many beasts you've got. So if you're playing like a beast hunter, then this like rolling a dice. If you've got very specific beasts in your deck, then it can be a little bit more targeted as long as you have it like starting out. So, I think in solo play, this is going to be a lot more easily managed because you can choose stuff to like start in your starting hand. With this, it's a little more luck of the draw, but even just playing it without the effect is still a perfectly fine turn 3. So, I think it's fine. Next, the Hyena Alpha. 4 mana, 3/3, Battlecry. If you control a secret, summon 2/2 hyenas. Are they just normal hyenas? Oh yeah. They are token hyenas, not hyenas, like laughing hyenas. That would be crazy. That would be really good. That would almost be like legendary status. Like if you control a secret, summon 2 of those laughing hyenas that get stronger when things die. Like that would be crazy. I think I would like it though. So 4 mana, 7/7. If you control a secret, not hard to do for Hunter. Secret Hunter is and always will be a popular thing to do, and this just gives you something to use it with. If you're doing Secret Hunter and you just do like this synergistic combo, so like turn 2 you play Secret, turn 3 you play the Ramkahen Wild Tamer, turn 4 you play Hyena Alpha, that's a crazy board. That's a crazy board to have to deal with. Plus, if you've still got that secret out there, then they got to beware of that as well on top of everything else. So I think that's some like crazy. That's a crazy game right there. Probably not going to happen too often, but if you do, it's going to feel real good, and it's going to feel really bad when they all die. Some board clear. But I definitely I like this idea. I like that they right off the bat there's like a cool play that you could do. All right, moving on. The Swarm of Locusts, 6 mana, summon 7 1/1 locusts with Rush. So similar to like the Druid's Bees, except instead of 3 cost, it's 6 cost, and instead of 4, it's 7. But instead of just attacking them, it's got Rush. So actually, it's nothing like that card. I don't know why I said it like that. Maybe it's just locusts and bees. Oh, God. Alright, so I think this is fine. It reminds me a lot of, like, Summon the Hounds. Like, this is just, like... it's comparable to Summon the Hounds, because you don't need your opponent's board to be full to make a board full of your 1/1s. Except it doesn't have Rush. It doesn't have Charge, it's got Rush. But, yeah. I think it's fine. If you had some way of buffing them, or maybe if you had a Laughing Hyena out, you could play them. I don't know if the Locusts are beasts. So maybe not. It doesn't have the card. Usually it has the card of what it's summoning, but it doesn't here, which is kind of annoying. But, yeah. 6 mana for 7... basically 7/7, but that you can split around however you feel like it. I think it's pretty okay. Yeah. Nice little Hunter board clear. Next, Unseal the Vault. It is their quest. Hunter quest, summon 20 minions. Your reward is the Ramkahen Roar. Give your minions +2 attack. All your minions? Holy crap. Hold on. What? Wow! That's nuts! There's tons of like summon and extra minion cards. Does this count? Do these count? Hold on. That's what I want to know. If either of these count. Because this is a spell. Might not. It says summon the locust. So maybe it counts. Maybe it doesn't because it's a spell. And then do summoning extra tokens count? Like, summon a copy of this minion or summon this minion. They all say summon. Does that count for this quest? Because it says summon 20 minions. If it does count, this quest is really easy to pull off and is really, really good. If it doesn't, this quest is really hard to pull off, but if you pull it off, it's still really, really good. And I guess that's sort of like the defining moment. Like, whether or not this quest is easy to pull off is sort of the defining, the fault in it. Because the reward is insanely good if you can actually get it to go off. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. Like, making these into 3/3s, that's crazy. That's so good. Turning your hounds into 3/3s, turning these into a 5/5 and two 4/4s, like that. It's all the way nuts. It's all the way crazy. That's so good. Token Hunter. Yes, sure. Why not? I like it. It's good. It's good. Yes. Moving on. The Desert Spear. 3 mana, 1/3. After your hero attacks, summon a 1/1 locust with Rush. Does this count towards the quest? That's my question. If it is, then great. If not, then it's just whatever. Like, then it's basically just like a rogue weapon. So that's sort of the defining feature with this one, I think, because a 3 mana 1/3 is bleh. Summoning a 1/1 with Rush is fine, but bleh. Whether or not it counts towards the quest is everything. Next, Pressure Plate. 2 mana secret. After your opponent casts a spell, destroy a random enemy minion. It's fine. I don't know why it's got to be cast a spell to activate a Pressure Plate. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe I think it probably should have been, just for flavor, maybe it should have been like after a minion attacks your hero, or when a minion attacks your hero, so that it could possibly kill the thing that's trying to attack you. I think that would have been a little bit better, just flavor-wise, but I think this is fine. It's just an extra proc for when your opponent casts a spell, of which right now there's only one of, so yeah, it's fine. It's a fine secret. Next, the Hunter's Pack. 3 mana, add a random hunter beast, secret, and weapon to your hand. Oh my gosh. That is some hand-filling good. I like it. Turning 1 card into 3 cards is insanely good. Like, it barely even matters what they turn into. Turning 1 card into 3 cards is good. That's simple math. Especially for a hunter where they have not too many card draw. They have lots of card creation, which, this just sort of fits in well with. But they don't have too much card draw. So I guess it sort of fits that theme as well. So yeah, I like this card. It's a good card. Hunter's doing really well. Holy crap. Next, the Scarlet Webweaver. 6 mana 5/5 Battlecry. Reduce the cost of a random beast in your hand by 5. Wow! I mean, if you've got some big beasts, this is really good. So this is like totally different from everything else we've done so far, where it's been like token synergy. That is good for big beast hunter, or just big hunter in general. But I mean, it does say a random beast, so you want the big beasts. But I mean, a 1-cost Savannah Highmane, what is it? A 3-cost, or is it 4-cost? Then, big Tyrannosaur rar. My brain is just crashed. crap. But yeah, I mean, a 6-mana 5/5 is blecky, but not unplayable. Like, it's not completely unplayable. It's not like a spell or anything, which would make it totally useless. It's not like a 2/2, which it could have very easily been. They could have very easily made this a terrible card and made this like a 6-mana 2/2, Death Rattle, reduce the cost of a random beast in your hand. Like, that would have been terrible. That would have been unplayable. But as with a 5/5 with a Battle Cry, I like it. I think it's pretty good, especially in like solo play where you can get it to go off twice. Oh my gosh. I hope they make like a big beast like card thing for solo play and like put this in it. Forget about it. Next. The Wild Bloodstinger. 6-mana 6/9 beast, battlecry, summon a minion from your opponent's hand and then attack it. I guess on the bright side, you would probably live through the encounter. But I kind of thought that if it was going to do that, you'd want it to have the stats flipped so that it's a 6-mana 9/6. But actually, I guess either way, it's still pretty good. Like, you're basically forcing your opponent to play something, which means they're not getting the effect of the card, which has been super useful in the past. And then you're attacking it with 6 attack. And then it's only 6 cost, so even if it doesn't kill it, you still have plenty of utility as a hunter to like finish it off. So I think this is a very smart card. I like it. Next. Dino Tamer Bran. 7-mana 2/4. Oh my god, that's disgusting. If your deck has no duplicates, summon King Crush. I guess summoning a 9 cost on turn 7 is good, but that's gross. That's not even close to worth it. No way. Nah. That's so gross. I don't like it at all. Nah, 7-mana 2/4 is disgusting. Having to not have any duplicates just to have a King Crush on turn 7 instead of turn 9 is just not worth it. I guess if you don't own King Crush, maybe it's an excuse to get King Crush, but it's still another legendary. Like, it's not a non-legendary that's summoning a legendary. It's another legendary that's really garbage summoning a legendary that's actually good. Just put in King Crush and do something else on turn 7. Dino Tamer Bran is not even... That's terrible. Okay, finally, the last one is a misfire. All of these other cards are really good. Hunter is going to be amazing. But Dino Tamer Bran is just sort of blah. I guess if you can get the battle cry to go off twice, somehow... Like, if you steal... Like, if you somehow got the rogue totem that makes it so the battle cries go off twice, and then Dino Tamer Bran summons 2 King Crushes, then that's worth it. But otherwise, it's just... Bleh, bleh, bleh. I don't like it at all. Oh, so that's Hunter. Wow. Hunter is good. Alright. Back to black screen. Take a look at you guys. Check on how you're doing. Take a drink. So how are you guys doing? Been going for what, 40 minutes? Something like that? No, 34 minutes. Off by 5 minutes. Ooh, I'm gonna need to get myself some more water. I'm running out. Alright, let's move on to the next class. Next class is Mage. Alright, you guys good? Ready to move on to Mage? Alright, moving on to Mage. Boop. Alright, so, first up, the Naga Sandwich. Ha 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 ha. A 5-mana footlong, anyone? Shut up, man. Stupid Hearthstone jokes. 5-mana 5/5 Battlecry, change the cost of spells in your hand to 5. I guess for big mage, for big spell mage, bleh, this is pretty good. I mean, it turns your Pyroblast, whatever, to like 5 cost. Turns your Blizzard from 6 mana to 5 mana. I guess there are a few others, but it can also do a lot of bad as well. So I don't know. It seems very, very situational. Better if you get some other cost reduction, like the Apprentice going, so that they all turn into like 4 costs, if that works, if you can combo it out like that. If you can't, then I'm not seeing this card. There are so many better like mage spells that are less than 5 cost. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of good ones. Big, like the fact that you could have a big spell mage means that there's enough big spells to make this warranted. But I don't know. I guess it does have some good synergy with like the other legendaries. But I don't know. I think it's just sort of okay. I don't think it needs this. Big spell mage already exists. Meh. It's meh. Next. The Dune Sculptor. 3 mana, 3/3. After you cast a spell, add a random mage spell to your hand. Wow, that's really good. That's pretty good. I like that. It's nice and cheap, so you can play it, and then a spell, and then get another spell, and then maybe still have enough to cast that spell too. Even if you don't, if it manages to survive, it is only a 3/3. Next turn, you can devote your whole turn to playing spells. If you've got other things that sort of boost spell power, or make it so that you, like, whenever you cast a spell, draw a card, or, all that other synergy stuff, I do sort of like the whole, like, spell flinger mage, where you're just, like, casting stuff left and right. I think they need to add more really low-cost spells so that you can sort of do that, because I really like that sort of, like, idea in my head of just, like, Arcane Missile, Arcane Missile, Arcane Missile, Arcane Missile, Arcane Missile. I think it's a lot of fun, and I like doing it. So, like, maybe in Wild, after Ronan is dead, and you get those 4 Arcane Missiles, you play this guy, and then just go to town and just refill your hand up with random spells. I like it. I think it's fun. Nice and random. Love random mage. Alright, Ancient Mysteries. 2 mana, draw a secret from your deck. It costs 0. Meh. Most mage secrets are already pretty cheap. So I guess this is just like, if you desperately need to draw your secret, you can draw it, but I think it's just sort of whatever. I don't think you really need this, because it draws it from your deck, meaning that you're not making a copy of it, you're not getting a random one, you're not discovering one, it's from your deck. So this is just a card that makes you draw another card. So you're devoting 2 cards to that one secret. It better be a really important secret. Meh. Flame Ward. 3 mana secret. After a minion attacks your hero, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. That's pretty powerful. I guess this sort of synergy makes sense. Like on turn 3, if you didn't draw your Flame Ward, you play this to draw it and then play it as a 1 mana. I guess that works, but only if this is the only secret in your deck, which it's not going to be. If you're playing a secret mage, but I mean the board clear is really good. I'm not lying. I'm not like dissing that, but I guess on turn 3, why would you want to play it then? Unless you're playing against like a hunter or a Treant druid that has all of his tutus and somehow managed to like fill it up early. So there is some like board flooding that this encounter, but I think it's better off in the late game anyway. So you don't necessarily want to waste a whole card just to draw it, but the card on its own is really, really good. The card is super good. The card's so good that I was arguing on the merits of a card I didn't like. That's how good it is. I like it. Tortolin Pilgrim, 8 mana 5/5, battlecry, discover a copy of a spell in your deck and cast it with random targets. This is really good with spells that attack enemy minions. So, like, if you're discovering a secret, it doesn't really make this super worth it. I guess, like, a 5/5 plus 3 mana, maybe makes it an 8 cost, but not really. More likely you'd want it to be getting, like, a blizzard. Like, discover a copy of a blizzard that always attacks enemy minions, and then it says random targets, but actually it will still attack only enemy minions. That's what you want to happen. Things like that. Things like Flame Strike. But, I'm not really feeling this card because it's so expensive. It's an 8 cost. Really, you'd want this to be 6 cost. 6 mana 5/5, discover a copy of a spell in your deck, and then cast it with random targets, because then you get a discount. You get like a free Blizzard. You get like a free Flame Strike. And then even if you don't get those, because it is discovering, so you do get to choose. But if you have a bunch of spells in your deck, maybe you've got a Flame Ward, maybe you've got some Arcane Missiles, maybe you've got an Arcane Explosion, maybe you've got Frostbolt. Getting any of those would make you feel bad with this 8 cost. But with a 6 cost, it hurts less, and it makes the big stuff, when you get it, feel really, really good. But yeah, I think the high cost sort of makes this a little less amazing. Still probably playable, but because it's a discover and not just play a random one. But it's still blah. Next. The Cloud Prince. 5 mana 4/4 elemental. Battlecry, if you control a secret, deals 6 damage. 5 mana 4/4 deals 6 damage? I guess because it's deal 6 damage, not deal 6 damage to a minion. Like, you can go face with this. It's probably pretty good. Like, it's 5 mana, make a fireball, and then 4/4. As long as you've got a secret, which isn't hard to do, but for mages at all. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good card. Pretty good card. Next. The Arcane Flak Mage. 2 mana 3/2. After you play a secret, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Wow. This offensive secret mage sort of idea is pretty nuts. I like it though. Yeah, the sort of downside to this is that it only has 2 health, so it'll die really fast. You'd want to play this at a late game. So you'd want to play this and then a secret, maybe even 2 secrets, and just clear the enemy board. And then when they play something, they'll pop the secrets, and then you play more secrets, or they'll destroy it, and then they won't pop the secrets, and then you can play the Cloud Prince to sort of either attack face or destroy whatever they summoned. So, I like the idea. Next, Reno the Relicologist. 6 mana 4/6, Battlecry. If your deck has no duplicates, deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemy minions. I think the fact that it says enemy minions sort of kills this card, because at first I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like 6 mana Cthulhu. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, you can't buff it like you can with Cthulhu, but who cares? It's more like the old relics that you get from Rafam, the Supreme Archaeologist. So, like, the deal 10 mana, deal 10 damage randomly split, except that could still attack the enemy hero. The fact that this can't attack the enemy hero sort of kills it for me. Like, yeah, it's more focused, but it's more focused in the wrong direction. It would be better if this was just deal 10 damage to the opponent, or just deal 10 damage randomly split. The fact that it's just against minions makes this way worse. And there's no other, so far, there's no other have no duplicates for mage in this expansion. It needs more than just one to make it worth it. And this is not it. So if there's more, because we're not done yet, if there's more, then maybe this is more worth it. But right now, We were just talking about other ways to get rid of the enemy minions. You don't need this. Next, the quest. 1 mana, cast 10 spells. You get the Ascendant Scroll. What is the Ascendant Scroll? Add a random mage spell to your hand and it costs 2 less. That's pretty good. I like that. I think maybe it should be 3 less just to like feel like a really good hero power. Because right now it's just like hit the button and then get the spell. And you might as well just have the button be free. I don't know why you would... What's the point of that? I guess maybe you can hold on to it like multiple turns and stuff, but I don't know. I still think it would be better if the thing costs 0, hit the button, and you just get the spell, or the button costs 2, but it makes it cost 3 less, just so you're getting a little extra discount. But casting 10 spells is not hard. Not hard at all. There's lots of things that make new spells. There's lots of spells for mage. And we were just talking about the Dune Sculptor and how much I like that it creates new spells over and over again. Yeah. I don't think this will be hard to pull off at all. Maybe it'll be a little hard to pull off like by turn 5 or 6. Like maybe you'll have to like really try for that. But I mean, you don't necessarily need that. The hero power it replaces isn't like a passive or anything that makes it like super good in the early game. But I mean, it's actually probably better in the late game because then you can hit the button and like flame strike. So I think it's perfectly fine. Just sort of an okay quest. Next, the Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron. I think this is the last one. I like the Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron. I kind of wanted to give it a yes just for being the Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron. But 10 mana, cast 10 random spells, targets chosen randomly. Oof. Yeah, it's basically playing Yogg-Saron, but without Yogg-Saron killing himself and making it end early. But it can still kill you and make it end early. So it's basically Yogg-Saron without the penalty of having Yogg-Saron, if that makes sense. I think it's fine. I think it's just as random as normal Yogg is. It also doesn't have the requirements that Yogg-Saron does. So it really is the effect of Yogg-Saron without the penalty of Yogg-Saron. So I guess that's good. I don't know. It's fun. It's definitely fun. And it's not a legendary, which means it won't be so gosh darn hard to get Yogg-Saron to play some Yogg-Saron lottery. In Wild, you play this and Yogg-Saron. Oh my gosh. That'll be fun. Alright, so Mage was pretty middling, pretty meh. I'm not a big fan of Reno. The quest is just sort of okay. Flame Ward and the Dune Sculptor really stick out to me. And Cloud Prince. Okay, these 3 cards I'm like a really big fan of. And 2 of them are common, so I know I'm going to get them. But yeah, just sort of okay. Oh. Alright. Let's take a quick stop here. See what's going on over in chat. How you guys doing? Doing okay? Alright. So what's up next? The Paladin. Alright. Anything else for Mage, guys? Alright. Moving on to Paladin. And Shibushi. Alright. Subdue. 2 mana. Set a minion's attack and health to 1. We've seen this effect a bunch of times. But I don't think it's worth 2 mana. don't get me wrong, it's a good way to just sort of destroy a big minion. Just like, boom, now it's useless. So I guess it is pretty darn good, and it's nice and cheap. So in the late game, it gets really useful. In the early game, not so much. In the early game, it's kind of bleh. But in the late game, super useful. Just nerf that King Crush into oblivion. But I think there are already cards that can do this. So I'm not entirely sure that having its own card is totally worth it. But, I think it's perfectly fine. Next. The Ancestral Guardian. 4 mana, 4/2, lifesteal, and reborn. Reborn meaning that once it's killed, it comes back to life once. So it's basically 2 4/2s with lifesteal. And just for that, I think it's pretty useful. Just because, like, they're totally going to try to, like, maneuver around the lifesteal the first time because it's only got 2 health. So you play this, they kill it, and then it comes back, and they're like, oh no. They could also, like, run 2 small things into it just to, like, get rid of it, but then that'll heal you 8 health. So, it's pretty okay. I think the cost is a little high. I think maybe this should cost 3, but I could see how that might be a little bit too powerful just because it is lifesteal and reborn. So 3 mana heal for 8 is, like, equal, but also having a 4 attack minion on top of that maybe is a little much. I don't know, it's probably worth like 3.5 and they rounded up instead of down. I think I would have preferred it if they rounded it down. It's just sort of a meh card at 4, but it is common, giving it a little leeway because it is common. Probably a lot of people are going to have this, and it is going to be sticky because it has that reborn. I think it's fine. Next, Pharaoh's Blessing. 6 mana, give a minion +4/+4, Divine Shield, and Taunt. Wow. That's pretty good. That's turning any card you want into a really big Annoyotron. You could play this on Annoyotron. Make it a 5/6 Divine Shield and Taunt. Just be like real annoying. You could play it on the yeah. Turning any card into an Annoyotron is just sort of not necessarily good, but really funny. In terms of good, though, giving a minion +4/+4, I'm not entirely sure is worth. Like giving a minion Divine Shield and Taunt, I'm thinking is worth 2 mana. So a 4 mana, give a minion +4/+4 does exist. Like, I think that is a card that already exists, so they're just taking 2 cards and smashing them together. I'm not entirely sure it's worth it, but I sort of like it just for like the buff value and the hilarity alone. I really think it should actually turn them into an Annoyotron just for like some little extra flavor, a little extra but I guess the theme of getting the Pharaoh's Blessing in Uldum works too. It's not as funny, but it works. Next. The Micro Mummy. 2 mana, 1/2 mech. It has Reborn. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1 attack. That's pretty cool. Good for board flooding. Paladin doesn't really do that much, but I mean, they do have that hero power. So, it does have that. It does have a little bit of mech synergy as well. Not as much, but really, it has. Because it's got the Reborn attached to it, it makes it a little bit better. I think maybe this should have been cost 1 cost. I think they're overstating how good Reborn is, but they always do that, and it's always fine, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. I think it's fine. I don't know why it's a rare or an epic, but it's fine. Tip the Scales. 8 mana, summon 7 Murlocs from your deck. Ew. Murloc Paladin hasn't been a thing in so long, and even then, Murloc Paladin just took like 4 Murlocs and just like revived them over and over again. This doesn't work with that. This is like a proper Murloc. This is specifically for Wild Paladin. Like, specifically for Wild Paladin. There's no other way you could play this. In Wild Paladin, though, like, getting that Crusader Murloc and a few of the other, like, Paladin Murlocs that you've gotten over the years, and then resummoning them, and then buffing them, and stuff like that, like, it's probably really, really good. But in Standard, nah, no way. Next, Making Mummies. It's the quest. Paladin quest. Play 5 Reborn minions, and the reward is Emperor Wraps. What do they do? 2 mana. Summon a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. Instead of summoning the 1/1 heroes, you get 2/2 copies of a friendly minion. That's pretty good. It does require you have a minion, but I mean, with all these Reborn effects that they're putting in, and with some of the mech, with that one mech card, like this, really good. What I'm curious about is, does the Reborn feature carry over? Like, if I summon a 2/2 copy of this when it's first played, does the copy also have Reborn? Because if so, that's really, really, really good. If not, it's just sort of a better replacement for the hero power, which is fine. It's still an improvement. It's just not as much. So it's just sort of okay. Next, Sir Finley of the Sands. I love Sir Finley Murgleton. He's my favorite. 2 mana, 2/3 Murloc, Battlecry. If your deck has no duplicates, discover an upgraded hero power. So this and the quest are like just outright like opposed to one another. You do not want to have both in the same deck. Which I guess makes sense because this wants you to have no duplicates. So, how good is that? If you have no duplicates, get an upgraded hero power? Sure. And it's only 2 mana. I kind of like it. And you discover an upgraded hero power. It's not just upgrade your hero power. So you could get something... You could get a different hero's hero power and upgrade it. So you could get more armor. I like it. I like it. It's a little random, but it is like an upgraded version of the original Sir Finley Murgleton, which I kind of like. I like that it has the sort of theme of, this is Sir Finley Murgleton, this is what he does. But also, he's gotten better since then, and now instead of getting a new hero power, you get a new, better hero power, but it has this conditional. I like it. Next. Salhet's Pride. 3 mana, 3/1 beast. Death Rattle, draw 2 1 health minions from your deck. How many of those exist? I don't think this is worth it. I don't think there's enough 1 health minions that are good for Paladin to make this worth it. Like, anything we've looked at so far have 1 health? No, nothing we've looked at so far has 1 health. It's specifically the 2 next ones that we'd want to draw, I guess. So, depending on the next 2 cards, maybe this is worth it, and maybe it's not. I'm going with not right now, but maybe. Let's see. So the Sandwasp Queen. 2 mana, 3/1. Pretty good. Battlecry, add 2 2/1 Sandwasps to your hand. So, this is just like creation stuff. It's fine, not really great. I don't see much need to like flood the board with stuff. Like Micro Mummy is the only one, and it's not a Murloc, so this doesn't work with it. And it doesn't have Reborn, so this doesn't work with it. So like Token Paladin, not really amazing so far. Not a big fan of this. And it adds it to your hand. It doesn't summon it. It's meh. It's meh. Next, the Brazen Zealot, 1 mana, 2/1. Whenever you summon a minion, gain 1 attack. So it can become. So it's sort of like the old Squire. Except that starts off as a 1/2, and then it's like Inspire. So you use your hero power, and it makes it a 2/2, 3/2, 4/2, 5/2. This is 1. So 3/1. 4-1, 5-1. It's not going to survive that long. There's no way. There's no way it's going to survive that long. Like, unless you like played it and then gave it Pharaoh's Blessing, which I guess would be a pretty good turn 7 combo, because then, like, if you're playing it on turn 10, then you could do that and then play the Sandwasp Queen and then get some good synergy going. But like that's such a specific and also still not very good combo, in my opinion. It's blah. Paladin is blah. Like Sir Finley Murgleton and the Ancestral Guardians and Making Mummies. Those 3 cards are the only ones that interest me. Micro Mummy is okay too. That's just okay. It's just sort of meh. It's really meh when the 2 legendaries are like the 2 big interesting ones, and they're such opposites that you can't put them together. So I guess if you just got one, it would be fine. But more likely than not, you're not going to get either one of them unless you're like trying really hard for it. And it's not. It's not. I don't think so. All right. So that was Paladin. Let's check on you guys. How you guys doing? All right. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next one then. All right. Priest. Starting off with the Sandhoof Waterbearer. 5 mana, 5/5. At the end of your turn, restore 5 health to a damage-friendly character. Ooh, I like that. That's like an upgraded Lightwell. It's a little more. It's a lot more expensive than Lightwell, but I like it. I like it. It's a Lightwell that you don't have to buff in order to make it do more damage. and I like that it restores 5 health to friendly characters, much like the Lightwell does. I like it. I think it's fine. It's like a dangerous Lightwell. Holy Ripple. 2 mana. Deal 1 damage to all enemies. Restore 1 health to all friendlies. Yeah. It's just good. It's like a better version of that one card that dealt 1 damage to all minions and then it had lifesteal. This is like better than that. It's like a tiny Holy Nova. It's a Holy Ripple. I get it. Okay, that took me a second. instead of a Holy Nova, it's a Holy Ripple. That would make more sense if it was like Holy Wave that did the big thing. But I mean, what's a tiny Nova? Holy Sunspot? Holy Ripple is better. I like it. I like it. Next. Penance. 2 mana, lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. Nice. Deal 3 damage, heal 3 damage for 2. It's basically the Warlock's Death Knight hero power as a card, but they give it to Priest. I don't know why they didn't give it to Warlock, considering it came from Warlocks first, but I guess in Wild there's really no call for that, so this is more useful to Priest in both Standard and Wild because they don't get that. I can understand it. Plus, Penance. I think it's fine. It's perfectly good. The hero power was good. This is good as a spell. I like it. Activate the Obelisk. The Priest quest. Restore 15 health. I'm sorry. Is Heal Priest coming back? Because I really liked Heal Priest. And I like this quest for Heal Priest. What is this? Restore 3 health if you target a minion. Also give it +3/+3. Wow! Heal Priest. Yes! I love heal stuff in Hearthstone. I like it sort of reflecting the World of Warcraft classes. Like you've got your tank warrior, you've got your arms warrior, and you've got your fury warrior. And that's sort of represented in Hearthstone. I mean, you've also got Dragon Warrior, but that's just because Dragon Warrior sounds really cool. But Like, Heal Priest, you could sort of pull off a Heal Priest before, but this is like, okay, Heal Priest. Now I want you to do the same thing for Resto Druid. Resto Druid was pitiful. I want better Resto Druid, please. Resto Druid is like what I live for. And it was just sort of okay. Next. A Heal Shaman already also exists also, but not quite to the extent that this thing. Next. The Wretched Reclaimer. 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion, then return it to life with full health. I like it. There are other cards that do the same thing, but it always like holds onto it for a death rattle, a fact that everyone always silences. So this is like cutting out the middleman, and it's just better. It's just an upgraded version of that kind of card. So yeah, I like it. Embalming Ritual, 1 mana, give a minion Reborn. See, that is the appropriate stat line for Reborn. I like that. Priest is doing Reborn correctly. How useful is this? Well, you can give it to any minion. So you give it to a big minion that takes a long time to die, or you give it to a small minion that has really, really useful effects. Like, say, for instance, the Sandhoof Waterbearer, if you're trying to activate the quest. Like, that's really useful. Of course, silencing it just turns it into a 5/5 anyway, so silencing it won't get rid of it like it does for the Lightwell. So, yeah, I like that. And there might be some other ones coming up that might be good for it too, because we've just got four more cards. I'm liking Priest so far. Grand Mummy. 2 mana, 1/2, Reborn, Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +1/+1. So it's a 2 mana, 2/4, give 2 friendly random minions +1/+1, if that's how you want to look at it. A silence effect would make this just a 1/2, but I mean, you're gonna waste your silence effect on this card, really? That said, just letting the card play out as is pretty good. I like it. It's a nice little low-cost Reborn card. I'm not entirely sure that 2 mana, 1/2, give a random friendly minion +1/+1 is super worth it. But the fact that it has Reborn does sort of bump it up a little bit. Not quite sure if it reaches 2, but it hardly matters because it's 2 mana. Like, come on. Even if it's not quite worth it, it's perfectly fine. And yeah, I think it's a good card. Next. High Priest Amet. 4 mana, 2/7. Whenever you summon a minion, set its health equal to this minion's. Wow. That's really good. Especially at that low cost. So you play the Grand Mummy. And it suddenly becomes a 1/7 with Reborn. You play it with this, it becomes a 3/7. You play it with this, it becomes a 5/7. That's not quite as much as a boost, but still, you play it with anything with low health. It's like it's an upgraded Vol'jin, and that's really cool because Vol'jin was played. I still see Vol'jin every now and again, not very often, but every now and again I still see Vol'jin. So this being an upgraded Vol'jin, I'm down for that. This is good. It does sort of stink if it gets hurt and then it sets to like 4 health or 3 health, but you're a priest. Heal it. It's even better if you've already activated the quest, because then whenever you heal this thing, it gains stats. So then you could bring things in as like a 2/10 or a 5/10 or 14 or whatever. Like, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, this plus the quest is really good. Either before the quest or after the quest. Either way, it's really good. I like it. Good synergy. Next. The Psychopomp. What? I don't get it. 4 mana, 3/1, Battlecry, summon a random friendly minion that died this game, and then give it Reborn. It's fine. It's a good like resurrect card, and then it gives it Reborn, which makes it doubly good. But you're playing it purely for the effect, because those stats are garbo. But then there are plenty of like resurrection spells that cost like this much or more that are just spells. So I guess any stats are better. So I guess it's fine. It's just sort of a little meh. Next, last one. The Plague of Death. 9 mana, silence and destroy all minions. So you want to play this if you have an empty board, or your board is garbage, or your opponent's board is just too much to handle, and you need a board clear. This kind of board clear is really powerful, though. So it is a powerful, powerful board clear. I think every priest deck is going to have this just in case. Like, they'll probably never use the darn thing, but they'll have it just in case. And I guess that means it's good, just by default. Alright, so that was Priest. I like Priest. I really like Priest. I really like the Priest quest. I think the Priest quest is my favorite one so far. I really, really like it. Priest and Hunter have the two best ones so far. How much more are we got to go? We're about halfway. I think we're just hitting the halfway mark. Whew. I think I might actually call it for this, actually, and like do the next half in another stream, because I'm getting tired and hungry. So I might do that, because it is way past lunch time and I am hungry. I want to crunch and munch. So yeah. I think I'm going to call it for this one. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you come back and enjoy again and critique me and say that I'm wrong about everything. I'm totally up for having discussions about stuff. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube later, so if you want to watch it there and then put comments, I will totally interact with you in the comments. Yeah. So we did Druid, Hunter, Mage, Paladin, and Priest. And then next time we'll do Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior. And then maybe we'll have a neutral one just be its own thing and have it just be 3 parts. I don't remember when this is coming out. When is this coming out? Tell me. When is the release? Why would it not say when the release is? Here, this will probably say it. It doesn't. It doesn't, though. It just says pre-purchase now. It doesn't say when it's coming out. What a bunch of bull. Hold on. I literally can't leave this now. I can't leave this alone. Alright. Saviors of Uldum release date. Well, the pre-release is tomorrow. So I guess it's coming out tomorrow? Oh, launching August 6th. There we go. Okay, so it's coming out in 5 days. I was like, oh no. Location, Esbjerg, Denmark. Alright, so we got 5 days. Talk about this all we want, and then we're going to play it. And then we're going to have to probably wait 2 weeks for the adventure mode, which is what I'm really excited about, the new adventure. If a new adventure is coming. Oh yeah, we're getting this. Yeah. So yeah, look forward to it, guys. Come talk to me on Twitch in the post comments. Come talk to me on YouTube in the comment section. Come talk to me at Discord. I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everybody.